Hey, it's Chris Meyer.
Chris Bowen.
Brad Johnson.
What
Hey,
you got
Brad.
for us?
How we doing?
Another bottom line Thursday.
Should we talk about a very timely topic of these weight loss
Should.
drugs?
Yeah, as I was mentioning before we started recording, I just heard a commercial for it on Spotify this weekend, and it's all over my social media feed. So it must have known that we were going to talk about this today. I kid you not. That's all the ads are now on my social media. But go ahead.
Just wait till link. Go ahead, Bowling.
Who would have thought that type 2 diabetic drugs would enter the weight loss industry as well as they have and as productive as they have? I mean, people are losing weight, and I go back to that conference I was with out in Vegas with UHC, and listening to their claims director talk about the financial impact, what could it have on the longevity of a claim, right? From somebody who has, a BMI higher than 30 to now bringing that person into, a little bit better health. And UHC's thought is the math will never work when those drugs are $22,000 a year. Now, if we could get those drugs at $300 a month, $3,600 a year, absolutely, UHC said they could see the impact. Today, there are 5 states that require a health plan to cover it, even though you're not a type 2 diabetic, if your BMI is 30 or higher, which is not that high, believe it or not. So it's going to be.
So Brad, I know
all of us, we're all going to start having these conversations with our clients, right or wrong. I don't care, but it is our clients' money, and they have to understand that, to Chris's point, there are some really good people out there that are figuring out how to get these things covered under a health plan outside of those 5 states.
Yeah. So it's working. But Brad, I mean, it's what? You can lose 20% of your body weight over the course of a year just taking a shot with no other change in lifestyle. That's significant, especially if somebody is really, really, really unhealthy. That can make a huge difference. But I don't think everyone that's using this is just using it simply for the vanity of it. I think there are some situations where it's truly helping people. 100%. But our topic today was how do health plans afford this? And I think that's where you're going to go with this, Brad, was it works, but at what cost?
Yeah. The real trick, and from what I understand, these drugs came about. This was almost an unexpected byproduct of these drugs because it really did help diabetics get their numbers down into the good range, and they found that coincidentally people could lose a ton of weight. And just so I'll throw some names out there. We've all heard of the drug Ozempic, diabetic drug, Wegovy, Rybelsus. Those are real popular now, specialty type drugs for diabetes. But those drugs fall in this class. They call them GLP-1s. I had to Google what that meant. It was glucagon-like peptide agonists. There you go.
Of course.
I won't remember that ever again, but there it was. But but they're injectables, and so there's probably some folks that aren't interested because of that. That wouldn't be always the most comfortable thing to do, whether it's a weekly thing. I have heard, though, that they are soon to come out with a pill form on some of these drugs.
Wow.
And so right now, I think there's only one drug out there that's technically approved for weight loss. The rest of these are just approved by the FDA for the purposes of helping diabetics. But we're finding many people try them off label. You hear about the Ozempic face and that type of thing. Hollywood is getting into that, and so it's out there. Everyone is becoming aware of that. The challenge, though, they're about $1,000 a month, for these drugs, to slightly up or down from that, some more than that. And so we're starting to get the question, should we cover these? And I had a large committee the other day that asked that question as well. And I think many people are just, what's everyone else doing? They want to first find out. And
True.
I think, and we're starting to see insurance carriers, and I understand why, because so many people are trying to get a hold of these, maybe for not necessarily diabetic number reduction, but weight loss reduction. That we're seeing carriers say, okay, to get one of these drugs, you first have to show that you are on a lower cost type of diabetic drug. So let's just see if you truly even have diabetic conditions that's worth treating with medication. And we're starting to see that go into play too. So yeah, I don't have an answer. I'm curious what you folks are hearing out there too. And
it's the same thing with any advancement in pharmaceuticals. You know, we've talked about this with the multi-million-dollar genetic drugs. You know, how are you as the employer going to tell your employee and their family that we're not going to pay for something that will save your child's life?
Right.
Likewise, this is a very personal situation where somebody's trying to deal with weight loss, to be able to say, we're just not going to pay for that. I mean, that's going to be a very difficult conversation for employers, but at the same time, you know, that's a significant burden that somebody has to cover on the health plan, whether that's employee costs or company costs. They're all in that together.
It's gonna be expensive, you know?
Yeah, and to bowling, to your point, you know, you went to that conference with UHC. Yeah, I'm a numbers geek. You guys know this. You look at claim reports, and let's say you boil all the costs down per employee per month right now. A lot of groups, it's around an average of $1,000 per employee per month for all their healthcare spend on average. So some people never use it, some use it a lot. There's $1,000 per employee per month. Well, if these drugs are running $1,000 per employee per month, now granted, not everyone in your workforce wants it,
right,
or needs it, but you know, let's say half, I mean, or even a third. That would take your claim costs from $1,000 a month to $1,333 a month, right?
Yeah.
Just because of this class of
Yeah.
drugs
It's real money.
covered. So yeah, that's a real struggle.
So I have two friends that are taking Manjaro. Neither one of them are type 2 diabetics, and they have to force themselves to eat. It literally suppresses your appetite. You're not hungry. I mean, to the point where, you know, they're struggling just to get 700 calories in, and they're forcing themselves to eat that 700 calories. And I'm like, you know, again, what none of us know, what are the side effects long term, right? I mean, if you starve yourself, you already know you're going to lose muscle before you lose fat. And you know, we don't know the true side effects of somebody taking a drug that's going to level out your glucose, but it's also suppressing your appetite so much that who knows? There's no right or wrong. I don't judge either way, whatever. I just think our jobs are to help our clients understand financially what's the impact if you want to approve this. We don't care if you do, but if you do, make sure you run the numbers.
I think this renewal cycle coming into calendar year 24, we'll see a lot more adjustments to stop loss. We'll see a lot more adjustments to claim costs within our carriers. That'll be the determining factor of really the impact. It's too early on, I think, for us to really know that. So,
yeah.
Well, thank you, Brad, as always, for a good topic.
Thank you all. Great discussion. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.